Let's go ahead and pull out the surveys now. We've gone through our checklist. Let's look at our surveys, and right now, since we're talking about 21st century workforce development, let's start by pulling out the parent survey, and we have to go all the way to the third page of your results, the very top, and we've just got 3 questions from the parent survey that relate to this area. Take a moment, please, to look at those results. We had 56% of our parents respond positively with agree or strongly agree that our teachers are helping the students learn, or helping their child learn about options for college and careers. We had 66% say that parent and community members are provided information on helping students acquire the knowledge and skills they need to be successful after high school. And look, we had 85% say that the campus provides students with opportunities to develop skills in collaboration, communication, critical, and creative thinking. So I'm just wondering, what are y'all thinking about the results? What's your response when you see this from parents?
I'm thinking that sometimes the way that we share with students about college and career readiness, parents aren't always there.
Okay.
I mean, it's given directly to the students in the way of showing them a video in class about specific schools that maybe we're looking, for them to maybe attend when they get older.
Okay.
So, I just think that there are some things, and especially with the counselor is very good about sharing with students and talking about college and career readiness. So maybe parents don't see that we're showing that to the students.
Okay. Maybe the students are going home and telling them.
That they are being exposed to it, but how are we showing evidence to parents that we're sharing that with them?
For the community, we're looking at this information being sent out to the houses or to the community. We're not sending that out. Obviously, we're doing something in the school that's working, but are we sharing it with the community?
You know, one thing I look at when I see this is I see apparently our parents, for the most part, because 85% answering positively to a question is, I think, a really strong response. And for 85% of them to say, we're teaching kids, they're developing skills in collaboration, communication, that information is getting to parents. They're seeing evidence of that with their students, with their own children. But they're not seeing evidence of what we're trying to do with teaching students about college and career or information to help them after high school. So maybe that's something for us to consider too, that maybe we've got an area we can improve on there on how we're getting information out, because we know we're doing some of these things. It's just, why is it that the parents are aware of what's happening in those other areas, but they're not with that? But, I mean, what do you think about 56% on the first one? Not good? What would be, I mean, just in looking at these survey results, what do you think would be acceptable? What would you like to see?
70.
I know, we would all love to see it. What do you think, 70 or higher? Did I hear that?
I would bring it to 70.
You wouldn't? You want it higher?
Yeah. And maybe, I'm thinking maybe like the 85, because parents see the homework coming home and they can see if it's challenging, if it has these things in it, or projects that the kids bring home from school that they've done.
Right.
And so maybe we need to send some things home so they can see how we're exposing them to career and college.
Right.
Because they're not
Maybe
getting
so.
that we are.
Yeah, maybe through newsletters, or like you suggested, maybe homework.
Or provided on the website.
Put something on the website. There's great ideas there. I think sometimes, I guess I see this and I think, if students are involved in any extracurricular, that really, the parents see evidence of that developing collaboration skills and creativity and all that. And maybe we can learn something from that on what we're doing with college and career and post-secondary skills to help get things out to parents more effectively there. Let's see how the students feel. Now we know what parents think. Let's see if there's a difference. On the student survey, we'll go down about halfway down the first page to get to 21st century workforce development.
Wow.
And you can see that 70% say they're learning about options for college and career here. 60% say that teachers and counselors are working on them to develop plans for their future. And only 65% are saying that they're given opportunities to develop skills in collaboration, communication, creative, and critical thinking. Isn't that interesting? Now, they're pretty similar on the first two, aren't they? Between the parents and the students. I mean, students are higher, at 70% than the parents were on that, but, I mean, they're both maybe a little lower than we want them to be. What could account for that last question? The students, only 65% of them say they're having opportunities to develop those skills, but 85% of the parents say they are.
I think it's the vocabulary.
Okay?
Yeah, I think they're not quite sure. What does it mean, what does it mean if I'm collaborating? And
Yes.
communication, well, I talk to my friends, but what does that look like if I'm doing something that deals with school?
I think that could be a really good explanation that maybe the vocabulary was not right. Does everybody else agree?
Yes.
Is that something that we need to address?
If you want an accurate answer.
Yeah, absolutely. And if we want our kids to have the vocabulary to read.
Yes.
That those skills, if you were to Google the 21st century workforce, they talk about the skills needed. Those are some of the things that are on there. And so probably, this is good for us to see that our students might not even realize that we're helping them develop skills that they need. So maybe we need to be more explicit when we're working on something and helping them gain that new
And use that
vocabulary.
vocabulary, as you're saying.
Right?
I should collaborate with your neighbor.
Okay. All right. Well, once again, when we talked about parents, I think the minimum I heard somebody say 70% is where we need to at least get. At least 70% or higher on a response for us to begin to feel like we're doing okay. What about with students? Is that the same? At least 70? You said, yeah. It'd be nice if it was higher. But, so did we reach our goal there with students on this?
Yeah, we're at the bottom end for college and career.
Yes. Bottom end. All right. So think about how these two things play out together. We have the information, all of those activities that we put on our checklist of activities and strategies. Tons of things that we were able to say we're doing. But then when we see the perception data from the parents and the students, is it matching up?
No.
I wonder what that means. I wonder what that means about our programs and about the effectiveness of our actions and everything we're trying to do in the area of 21st century workforce development. And I think that needs to play in as we're looking at our rating here.